Okay, looks like we're getting ready to start.
Okay, I call this Hildebran Town Council meeting to order. We will begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. Rick, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, look over your agenda and make a motion when you're ready.
Can you hear everything, Rick?
I can't hear when to approve the agenda.
Okay. I said look over your agenda and make a motion when you're ready.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. All right, and I'll do the roll call again. Cole?
Yes. Mike, yes.
Jerry, yes.
Garrick, yes.
And yes.
Okay, next is the approval of the minutes for both regular and closed session. Look over those and make a motion when you're ready.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes, regular meeting and the closed session minutes.
Okay, I'll call it for a vote.
Cole, yes. Mike, yes.
Jerry, yes.
Jerry, yes.
And yes.
All right, thank you. Public comments, do we have anyone? Okay, no public comments. Okay, 6, old business, and 6A, we are going to put that off for a while.
Yes.
That's all we need to know, okay. 6B, consider approval of resolution approving conveyance of property to another unit of government pursuant to, you see it there, anyway, it's the deputy vehicle. Any comment on that?
The price has been lowered to $1,400. That's the sale price, and this would be sold to Burke County. That's all.
Okay.
Make the motion.
All right, I'll call for a vote.
Cole, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jerry, yes.
Garrick, yes.
And yes.
Okay, 7, new business, 7A, consider approval of town banners. And they are in your package.
Okay,
All
yeah.
in different colors.
Let me address this with you real quick. So you should have 4 pages with 1 page consisting of all green banners, 1 page consisting of all blue banners, and then 1 with each of them shown right by side by side. This has been something we've been working on since August. So first of all, thanks to Alice. This has been a banner project is a lot more than I thought was involved with a banner project. So what we're asking you all to do tonight is, number 1, if you have any just feedback, if you have any kind of feedback at all, you want to give. Number 2, the banners were done intentionally simple. So what you're going to see with them, number 1, is downtown Hildebran. That's at the top. The reason we put that up there is where we're wanting to put our banners would be in our central business district on 70 and South Center Street. So that's the areas we targeted for the banners. So we would like to call it downtown. I think that's one of the things we're trying to do with the park, trying to have the town center. Then in the middle, you're going to see 4 different images. So 1 is obviously the Royal. You guys already, I'm sure you know that one. The second one is the In God We Trust with the breezeway behind it. We are not completely satisfied with how the breezeway looks. It was much. There's been a little discretion used on the part of the company doing them, so we would like to see that one change slightly. I would not worry about not being able to read the In God We Trust on the banner with the memorial and the breezeway. So we're seeing this, one, in snippeted and, PDF versions. So I wouldn't take the, picture quality too much into question. These are gonna be, I believe, 6-foot banners, between 4 and 6 feet, 8 feet, once we come off. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. If you get to the third banner, that's the one where I had some comments from council. That is the depot. Does anybody just kind of like, off the top of your head, have a thought? We'll go through these each one by one, but I just kind of want to set up each thing. So if we have any problems with that one, I will tell you this, the train tracks are not where we want them. So that's gonna have to have some work done.
Yeah, they look like they're banked.
Wendell, would you like to be a graphic artist? Because we let them know that several times. So just so we can move this along, we have to bring it to you the way it is. But anyway, that is the depot. We did not have train tracks on it in the version we sent you. But when we sent that out, 2 or 3 council members sent back, they didn't recognize it as the depot. So we wanted to put something in there that would at least say, hey, look, this is the depot, train tracks. So we had them put that in there, and then we have the tractor. So I mean, at this point, would council rather go through the colors? Would you rather go banner by banner? Tell me how you would feel best going about this before we decide on what we stick up. This is about a $6,000 expense. So it is something, once we do, we don't have to go back and do it. How about we start with the banners?
I'll throw a comment out real quick. I don't like the blue with the green down here. I prefer the green with the blue down here. I think the green on the bottom makes it look kind of washed out a little bit. And with the blue, I don't know, I mean, like you said, we can only see what we see here. This is not truly what the banner's gonna look like, but I wonder, as far as with the image standing out on the background, if it's gonna stand out better on the green as opposed to the blue.
I thought the blue it would stand out better on the blue.
I mean, you would think it would, but I just don't like the green on the bottom. I think the green makes it just look, I don't know, that's my personal preference. I feel like the blue on the bottom looks better.
So to address that one point with Cole, because he does bring up a good point, the only thing, the one thing we could easily change about the one with green on the bottom, that is our more yellow green. That's the first iteration they sent, but we do have a darker green within our logo that we could use. I don't know if that would help that. I can have them to bring that back in that darker green to show you that, give you an example.
I mean, this is a different color green than that's in the background of this one. So are you saying this is the green that would be in the bottom?
The top of that. So I don't know how well you can tell it in these, but these have been, there's a gradient to it on the green ones and even on the blue ones. But what it does is, yes, it starts out darker at the top and then it gets to that lighter green the closer you get to the bottom.
Okay.
It's not represented well in these numbers, but it does.
I just feel like this green down here looks like pea soup, or if you've ever had a toddler.
You're prejudiced against.
I love toddlers. I just don't like, I don't think that's good. I like the blue. I mean, I don't mind the image on the blue. I think it looks okay. I like this color green up here. I just don't like this green down here. But that's my 2 cents.
It's like the rain kind of faded, yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing we have to consider is, you know, with these out in the sun, over time, what kind of fading, how's that gonna look?
For the lifetime of the banner, I wouldn't be too worried about fading. They were extremely confident in the banners lasting every time. They said if we ordered the flag banners, we could probably use those 5 years. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the fading. But if you're already having issues with the green, I'd tell you not to spend 10 grand on it. 5 on the banners, 5 for the brackets. But yeah, I would. If you have an issue with that, what we can go ahead and do tonight is I can make a note and just say, hey, let's bring this back to darker green. Unless council's all on board, you just go with the blue with the green on top.
So we ought to get pick one image, right, for both banners, is that correct?
So here's how it will look. So if you'll look at the, just one of the ones that are either all green or all blue. So we have honor the past and build for the future. We have put honor the past under the Royals and Breezeway. And then because of all the work we've done on the depot and then we're about to do on the tower, we put build for the future intentionally for those. But essentially what would happen, let's say you wanted to go one blue, one green, what we would do is alternate it. Honor the past would be in blue. For example, here, you would pick one in blue, then follow it up with a build for the future in green. And then that's how they would rotate on the way down. If you wanted one of each. Now, if you didn't, they'd all be green like this, and you just have honor the past, build for the future, so on and so on.
Yeah, I like mixing them up.
Ben, are you in agreement that you would like to see it in a darker green at the bottom?
Yeah, darker green, and I would like, to mix them up, the different colors.
How about mix them up, build for the future and honor the past too.
Does anybody else like the idea of rotating it, having two different sets, or would you rather just have one set?
I'm not opposed to rotating it.
I'd rotate it. Fine.
So I got two blue and two green.
Whatever y'all decide, I'll support.
Come on, Derek, you gotta have an opinion, man.
I've got an opinion, but
Come on, this ain't the scoreboard, you gotta have an opinion.
This is not the one.
That's on the scoreboard.
I ain't even gonna go there. I'm gonna be nice.
I know, I'll pay for that.
So do we get to, are we picking different images or just one image and four different?
So we will, yeah, I didn't make
missed
that. No.
Maybe I didn't listen.
Well, no, so we will use all four images,
Okay, I'm with you.
provided council has no other image they would rather see take the place of one of these four. That was another question tonight. But yes, we would use at least one of each of these images. Then it comes down to either all green, all blue, or some kind of mix.
Never mind, I'm with you. Thank you.
I think the point that you brought up about the, in God we trust, that picture, and then with the banking on the railroad tracks, I think those are the only two issues I have out of all four images. Other than that, I think it looks fine.
So here's what I'd like to do is if we can, with these changes that I've got, since we're not good with how they are as is, we're gonna have to come back, bring it back to you. Is this something everyone feels comfortable approving by email once I get the revisions, or would you like to see it brought back next month?
Email's fine.
Email fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's just move forward. Okay, so before I move on, or unless anyone else has any comments, I've got, let's see them with the darker green at the bottom, and then have the two issues that I mentioned fixed. But that's all I've got. Is there any other changes that anybody wants to see? Okay. Give me about a week and I can have that back.
All right, 7D, consider approval of leave for staff due to COVID quarantine beginning January 1st, 2021, and budget amendment.
Okay, so with this, the Families First Coronavirus Relief Act, that expires December 31st. What that did was that is what required the 2 hours of COVID time, 2 weeks of COVID time for full-time employees, and then prorated based on part-time. What is happening is when I wrote the memo, we did not have a new stimulus package. We now have a new stimulus package, but no one's commented, or at least I've not got anything yet, has commented on what that will be used for. We have heard that there will be no funds provided for local government, but I don't know that for a fact yet. With that, so what we're looking to do is extend the policy that was put in by the Families First Coronavirus Relief Act, is have the town sponsor any remaining or existing COVID time that was previously what we had set aside money for in our COVID funds. That money is now gone. We've had to send that back to the county. We didn't use some of the sick time. We basically used everything else. So now what we're asking is that the town, if any of the employees get sick, or we have a new hire, and I'll talk about that later, that person, based on this policy, would have to be an employee for 30 days, officially 30 calendar days. So they would not be eligible for any of that time, at least until the way we're looking at it would be February 4th. But what this would do is we have in total between Rick, myself, and Alice, and the 80 hours for the new employee, we would be responsible for $5,107 of any COVID leave after December 31st. That would run through June 30th. Now, if we do get any funds from the federal government, state government to support the COVID leave, it's mandated in the policy that we use that first. So not coming out of the town's general fund. But what this policy does do is it does use the town's general fund, potentially and most likely, to pay for any COVID leave between here and June 30th. Any questions on that? Staff does recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, I'll call for a vote.
Cole, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jerry, yes.
Garrett, yes.
Ben, yes.
Okay, thank you.
That includes the budget amendment, correct?
Yes.
7C, consider approval of resolution adopting 2021 remote regular meeting schedule. That's in your packet, correct?
Yeah, so what I did is I just went ahead and said they're all gonna be remote because, you know, we can change this later, but let's just make them all remote. They'll all be YouTube video or live stream through our YouTube. Now, as long as the governor's state of emergency is still in place, we can continue to do remote meetings. If that ends, then we're not allowed to do remote meetings. You know, like with someone calling on the phone, that's something that we can't do statutorily. But for now, we're good. I don't see that state of emergency going away anytime soon. So all of these are the 4th Monday except for December, and that's the 3rd because of Christmas.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll call for a vote.
Cole, yes.
Mike, yes.
Jerry, yes.
Garrett, yes.
Ben, yes.
Okay, thank you. 7D, November facilities report.
I wanted to add the gym looks good. It's the first time I've actually seen a lot of the improvements since they've been done. I was pretty happy with it. We rented out the gym for a birthday party and it actually looked really, really nice.
Good deal.
Since you mentioned that, next month I'm gonna bring probably a PowerPoint, most likely to have all of the improvements on one PowerPoint and then have all the improvements from the COVID money. Hopefully some of the other things we ordered through COVID will come in, we can actually get some pictures of that. But yeah, I'll have all that next month, show the council.
Okay, any other comment on that?
One other thing, I'll add that one. You and I have been here, the longest dogs here. It's the first time I've had a council person commend a building, our appearance for somebody that cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate the work you guys have done. That's the first time in all these years when I've been here a long time, first time. And I appreciate it. Appreciate you being able to say it.
7E, November tax report, that's in your packet. No comment on that, I guess. Okay. 7F, November deputy report, that's in your packet.
That's not a misprint, that's accurate.
Oh, wow.
Good month.
Yeah.
Any further concerns, you know, just open door, just let me know what you got.
7G, committee reports. Oh, I'm sorry, unless there's another comment.
We still don't have the lining up at CVS. I don't know where we decided if they were abiding by ordinances, but it's still they're not compliant, so. What did we decide on that?
So for CVS, even though if you read our ordinance,
Okay.
and I read it, it reads that for any customer in that parking lot, it should be lit for that customer. We had Hunter and Allison Adams, who's the director at the COG, read through that ordinance. Neither, they are not comfortable at this time with the language, the way the ordinance reads, enforcing any type of lights to be forced to be on. The other thing that we found out is when we contacted other towns, even though the majority of if you drive anywhere in Hickory, Lenore, Sawmills, wherever, the majority of these places do keep their lights on. However, that does not look to be by, that's not a requirement by ordinance.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary. So it looks very difficult to do that. So what we talked about is putting up 2 lights, the town putting up 2 lights. Hunter's supposed to be researching this, getting it back to you next month. The cost of that, 1 at the intersection and then 1 somewhere along 70 near the back of that parking lot. So that's what
I'll tell you what, if they put the new LED lights up, if that's what you put up like a pole light, I promise they're gonna light the world up, cause I've got one. They just changed mine over to an LED light in my backyard.
You can't see it.
It's a dangerous intersection. I mean, I'd rather enforce what's
Very
there
dark,
if
very
we
dark.
could, but if we can't, then we need to take on the expenses. Something needs to happen.
We're gonna look at it tonight, just to see if 78 or 70 would be back for the corner. I mean, we're
Oh,
down
that's
for a
what
little bit
you're
on
saying,
that corner at the front, but whether or not we want it on 78 or US 70. I'm probably leaning towards US 70, but I'll look tonight and see.
A lot in terms of per month is $7 to $12 a month. Total cost is not much. So I think that's an easy fix that we can do.
Like I said, if they put the
You guys out
LEDs up,
too.
they
Oh,
work well.
tremendously. Yeah.
I can vouch for that, cause I put one up. In I had a regular one. They changed it over to LED. And
Like
I
daylight.
can read the serial number on my tractor sitting down there in the shed now.
Maybe later we would something over on I-40 access.
Since we're still talking about the lighting issue, what's going on with the lights at the interstate exit?
That's gonna be my next question.
So I have a list of other business down here to talk
Okay, we can
about.
talk about it then if you want. I just.
No, we can go ahead
Sure.
and get it. Yeah, we can get it out of the way. They are claiming that it has a bad underground. That was what they left it at. It has a bad underground. No. This was sent over from Chris and then the DOT. Whatever it's gonna cost them to fix is pretty significant. However, the state did just get a budget that's allowing these fixes. And I'm being told that this is on a schedule to be fixed, but I've not gotten a response back as to when. So I followed up, I'm asking, and now I'm waiting. But that is something that they did know is out, and it's on the list to get fixed.
It's probably on the same schedule replacing the bridges or.
118 is actually looking really good, but everything else in the entire state is at least 3 to 5 years out. 118 is going to be done in the spring.
Wasn't bad underground, mean wiring.
That's what I took it as, something to do with the wiring that's.
But it's all of the lights. It's not just on one side.
Right, it's on both
of the
sides, they're all out.
So
But you go to any other intersection up and down Interstate 40, they're on. It's just Hildebran's lights are out.
It's something they've evidently been aware of for about 6 months.
let us know.
Yeah.
And the pothole at Fry Daddy's. It's gonna tear somebody's front end
You're talking
down.
about the one on South Center Street?
Yeah, right, when you get to the stoplight.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I hit that the other day.
hey, you oughta hit the big truck.
I'm good.
It's bad.
There's a Christmas light that's out too, when you turn off Main Street onto the road up Old 10 by the senior center, the first Christmas light on the pole isn't lit.
Yeah, we'll get that one taken care of.
Thank you.
Any other comments? We'll do committee report, excuse me. Number 1, the technical coordinating committee.
Nothing.
Okay. Transportation Advisory Committee,
Nothing to report.
the Policy Board Delegate and Alternate.
Yeah, I sent that out 3 weeks ago, y'all.
Okay. Burke Economic Development,
No updates except what Alan gave us last time, so that we can change it.
The building reuse grant for Downey may be the biggest economic benefit in this area in a long time. They're talking with the county manager and others, that's gonna be a really, and that's really gonna be a substantial project for our community.
Project. Project down.
It's a reuse over in the old, Klein subdivision over there. When they moved that, they're gonna redo it and all that kind of stuff, county and city both went on the agenda tonight for that money. That's gonna be a biggie. That's gonna be, it'll bring as much goodness to the county and to the town as Synergy has.
for Recreation and Tourism,
Nothing to report.
Water Resource, Esther's not here, Vedic,
Nothing to report.
Library Board, I apologize, I missed the meeting again, I'm gonna try my best to make it, I can't make it after work, it's for all of it. All right, that's all our committee reports. Other business, other business, what we done today?
I've got several things.
Okay,
So Terminix, our bat problem, it is under warranty for them to fix. However, they are claiming that, we are responsible for providing their access up there. So they need a 60-foot ladder. I can't remember what it's called right now. But some the fire truck has.
Boom ladder.
So if we can provide it, they'll fix it for free. If we can't provide it, we have to pay for the cost of them renting one. So that's something I'm trying to get with the fire department. The fire department sometimes will allow people to use lifts like that. If they'll let us do it, we're gonna get that route, get it done for free. If not, we'll have to pay them to tow around a lift.
We don't have a good
Brand's
ladder.
pretty good if you talk to him.
We'll have a good ladder.
Good fire department.
Long view.
So wiring is good as long as you have the equipment to go with it.
That's what they're claiming. They have a
Oh,
40.
you got them $5,000.
They have a 40-foot ladder that they have that they will use. That one would have been covered, but because this is 60 feet, they're claiming that the warranty doesn't cover it.
How did they get up there the first time?
Well, yes, is with, since I've been here, Rick and I, they've been out there 3 times.
So that's 60 feet from the back of the front.
I was saying, yeah, because it's at the chimney.
That's why we have
Well,
that problem.
So they're saying they didn't go up there the first time, right?
That's what it sounded to me like.
I'm just
We found the bat problem.
If they haven't done ladder, they haven't been up there before.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
So we
That's
paid for
what I'm
it, we paid for
thinking. They hadn't been there before.
Well, see, that's the thing that Rick, or that I told them today is, since I've been here, July of 19, we've had no one out there but terminals. And they said they've not got anything in their records that they've ever come out and addressed it a second time. So,
You don't have much where I can say they addressed it the first time, or we wouldn't be having a second time.
well,
Exactly.
the other idea is I called them back in March and we're working on getting it taken care of in December. So. Anyway, so that's Terminix. Here's the thing, it's an hour fix. It's an easy fix if they can get up there. No problem, they're gonna cap it. They say it's no issue, shouldn't take more than an hour. So if they can get up there, no problem.
Can they not go through the hallway entrance on the second floor, or do they actually have to have a ladder so that they can work from that outside of it?
That's a good question. I'm assuming they need the ladder.
Because we
Take
do
that
have a
up there.
roof access.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the roof access when they went up there the first time, so I'm assuming we can ask them about that. See if we can provide them any type of other access. But they're gonna have to get around that chimney, and I'm assuming they're gonna have to have something that's gonna be on that outside.
They capped the chimney last time. It's got a cap around it.
Yes, and they're claiming the problem with that is they did not seal the underneath of that cap.
That's correct.
So the bats are actually, they're finding,
Yeah, Rick and I walked back there last spring, because the droppings were coming down on the air conditioning unit. And there's a gap on the backside.
yeah, they're claiming that it did seal off the chimney, which prevents the bats from getting into the building. But it did not stop them from, in the space in between the seal and the edge of the chimney, from getting up into that small space, and I can't think of the word right now, hibernating. But that's what they're doing, they're actually, they're hanging out with it.
Just chill.
Anyway, so that's the mess with the termites, but we'll get it fixed. Better news, good news, so we did hire Lori Elliott as the full-time person for our parks and grounds maintenance. Lori and I sent it out an email, but Lori does have a two-year degree, associate's degree from CVCC in horticulture. Her daughter teaches horticulture. So she's also done this exact same type of work with Caldwell County, social services out of Caldwell County, and Broughton's in Warrington. So we will welcome her January 4th. That will be her first day. We'll try to acclimate her. She does not have the right-of-way license, so she is looking to get that. From what I understand, now depending on the gas to get a different story. From what I understand, that is the easier of the two licenses. This is coming from the people at the state level who administer the test. The right-of-way pamphlet's about 10 pages. The spraying of part of the licensure for the pesticide is about 50 to 100 for man. So this should be something that she can get. So she'll start at 30,000, and then once she gets the right-of-way license, we can bump her to 31, like we talked about. So that's where we stand on it right now. That's all I got.
Any other business? Do we have an update on what's happening with the businesses at the, where Frankie Cheese was?
Yes, they should be opening quickly. They are not, from what we understand, we have followed up with them about 3 different times on a facade grant. They have not approached us on that. They told us, if they did want it, they had to have stuff back to us by November. So they may be proceeding without the facade grant.
They're up there working. You go up there about every night, just every evening, see what they're working.
Yes, and it's 2 brothers who run the pizza side of it, and then they partnered with Los Compadres people. But we met with them several times. In fact, they were just in the office last week pulling some permits. So we do know they're open. They have not picked a date yet, but we don't know if they're going to do a facade grant. That's the only thing about it.
It'd be good to work with
So is it-
them.
Just to confirm, is it a Los Compadres that's going in, or are they doing?
It will end up being a mixture of 2 different restaurants. It will be a half pizza, half Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
So yeah, that announcement for the official name will come out shortly.
Is anything going on with the old Parker strip mall, or does anybody know anything about what's going on with that area? The Robert Parker used to have a grocery shop and so forth out here, because it looks like all the businesses moved out but one.
Yeah,
That's one of the-
Hosky at the end and Parkers are still around back.
Maybe not much longer, I understand the bikes moving on.
Right at the park. That's where this restaurant's going, correct?
Well, there's a warehouse behind the
Oh,
retail stores.
okay.
And that's what, the Parkers run a upholstery shop out
Yeah.
of. Dr. Toski is at the very end of the school. So,
Okay. Any announcements?
Did you have anybody?
Any adjournments?
I'd be happy to make that motion.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Mike, yeah.
Jerry, yes.
Derek, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.